Hey, what's up guys? Today we're comparing the Lpzz Red Death with the Inart Red Death. Now that the Inart Red Death is finally out, we can take a look at how it compares to the Lpzz Red Death, which came out earlier in the summer. As I've said before, the Lpzz and Inart companies are some of my favorite 112 companies out right now. The stuff they make is just really incredible. Starting off, just taking a look at some of their accessories, what really stands out to me is the unmasked head on the Lpzz, along with the lightning effects, and then the energy effects for the Inart. And then besides that, they just come with some basic hands. But taking a look at the articulation for each one, the Inart's head movement is actually pretty good, I would say. My biggest complaint with it, as I mentioned in my review, is probably the butterfly joint on the arm. It's just really hindered by that plastic piece around it, and it just does not allow for much movement. The arms are able to move up quite a bit, thankfully. You also get some really good bicep swivel and a bend at the elbow, but the wrist articulation is quite hindered by the gauntlets. One great thing though is the ab crunch. One of my favorite parts of any figure is the ab crunch, and this one thankfully has a lot of it. Not only that, but it also moves back quite a bit, and the torso moves side to side pretty well. Up next is the legs, and this is where I think the Red Death really shines. It has a ton of articulation, especially moving up all the way, and then you can also move it way back too. It also has a drop down joint, which allows for even more articulation, which is pretty crazy. You also get a really good bend at the legs where the calf almost touches the back of the thigh. And then you also get an extra joint right under the knee, which is really cool. I will say the ankles themselves don't move much, but that extra joint under the knee does kind of account for that. Kind of similar to how the Batman Who Laughs had that same thing. Taking a look at the Lpzz Red Death though, this thing also has a ton of great articulation. You know, it has its pros and cons, but I would say same thing like the Inart. The head movement is really good. One thing I do like better about the Lpzz is the butterfly joint. It allows for a lot more range at the arm. And the shoulder pad also moves up, which is pretty cool. You get a nice little bicep swivel there, along with a bend at the elbow. And same thing, the wrist is pretty hindered by the gauntlets. I'm really not sure why that's the same thing on both, but it is what it is. The ab crunch on the Lpzz is really good, but the rest of the torso articulation could be a bit better. It doesn't move side to side or back as much. I will say the legs move pretty well, but it doesn't move as much up as the Inart. It does move back quite a bit though, but the actual bend at the knee is a little bit worse than the Inart. Definitely doesn't come as close, and you can see I actually popped the leg off, but thankfully, you know, it's just the joint popping out, so just put that right back in and you're good. The ankle articulation on the Lpzz is actually a lot better than Inart's. It moves, you know, side to side, back and forth pretty much all the way, and that is a big thing for me. I do really like that. Here's just some extra hand poses I did with these guys. You know, these guys are just running characters, so I do love putting them in their running poses. They're always fun to do. Both of these figures are really just premium quality. If I had to pick one, I might slightly enjoy the Lpzz just a bit more, but it's not like the Inart is anything short of amazing. I appreciate you guys so much for watching, and see you soon.